The buzzword today is Black Friday. So even though Black Friday may seem to be one of the most exciting shopping experiences in any given year, most consumers still do not understand the basics of how money works, and some are still a bit financially literate. This can be evident when it comes to making sound money spending decisions, especially when using debt or credit in acquiring the goods and services. As debt and credit may sound good, on the other hand, it can also have some catastrophic consequences on the other if it's not wisely done. We joined now in studio to discuss the effects of debt and credit by a debt counsellor, Mr Saubrey Tshabalala. Tshabalala, good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming through.
Afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm all right, and you done?
And your viewers.
Yeah, so have you done your Black Friday shopping?
Not really.
Not yet?
I don't do it.
Oh, you don't do it?
I absolutely don't do it.
What's your take on Black Friday?
Well, like Kabela has just said, it's very impulsive. It's all about marketing. Marketing is in the mind.
Yeah.
So the word itself, they know that they play with words, and people buy impulsively, and people don't think. Money matters are very emotional. You know it as much as I know. When you have money, you're so excited. Yeah. And if you don't have money, you're angry. Either way, the mere effect of your emotions can lead to disaster. When you are happy, you can spend even money that you don't even have. And the next thing, the consequences are disaster. Let's
just talk about that particular issue, because a lot of people will be spending money, or they have already spent money that they don't have, using buying services and goods on credit and using credit cards and so on. What are the consequences if one does not consider certain things?
Look, if they don't consider those things, they will never get out of the debt trap. They will never get out of the rat race, because they will stay there, because they don't understand what money is. And money is debt. If people understand that, money is debt, because there are two types of debts: it's good debt and bad debt. Now, once you know those two types of money, you'll make money.
What's the difference between the two?
The difference between the two debts, it changed in 1971 when President Nixon decided to separate a gold from a dollar. Then the money change became a debt. A good debt is the one that makes you rich. A bad debt is the one that makes you poor. I'll give an example.
Yes, please.
Rich people, whenever they build their wealth or business, they don't use their money. They go to the bank. That's a good debt. And who pays that money back? It's the customers or the tenants, you see. Whereas you use a bad debt to pay your high purchase car, to pay your bond, that matter. But you are the one who pays, instead of somebody else pays on your behalf. And your portfolio or your balance sheet does not grow. But if you use a good debt, your balance sheets grow. I'll give a further example. If, let's say, I buy a property and I rent it out, people who stays there, they pay on my behalf. Yeah. I don't pay. And what happens to my balance sheet? Next time, if they go to say, no, your balance sheet is good, you have that property and that property, do you understand? So that's how you make money. Once you understand that, then you'll be rich.
Interesting indeed. So from your experiences, debt counsellor, what are the most common factors, common denominators, which often plunges consumers into problems and the difficulties that they end up finding themselves in?
Key, education. When people, you talk to them, people ask, how do one make money? I always say, start with education. Then he asks, what do you mean when you say start with education? I say, read the books of the people who made money and learn how did they do it. Just behave like them. Once you behave like them, you'll have money. I'll give an example. People who have money, like banks and so on, they'll never give you a car without an insurance. Poor guys, when they have financial pinch, the first thing that they cancel is the insurance. And guess what? 2 days down the line, he's involved in an accident. And let's hope it's not a bad one, because if it's a bad one, that means you'll have to fix your car and also fix the next car that you bump.
Or even yours might not even be fixed in some instances.
I hope yours is not Golf and you have bumped on a sedan, German sedan, that is expensive because you won't even afford to fix that one. So you're already in a debt. in a debt crisis. Do you understand? People don't analyze. So that is why I say education, because when you educate yourself, you'll understand what is an interest. When they say 32%, 16%, what does it mean? I'll give a bit of an example when I was young. You know, when I was young, you know, when you're young,
you're excited
like
to
I
have
said,
money.
you know, money is emotional.
Yeah.
You know, I was happy. I went to go and buy a car. Then they did their credit score. They say, you don't qualify. But they said, I don't know what will give you with a balloon payment. I didn't know what was a balloon. I went for it. Oh, man. It started. I started suffering from that year for the next 15, 20 years. You see.
From one decision that you made.
One decision that you made. Prior to that, I had money. I had even excessive money. But because I didn't know how to use my money, I could not do the things that I was supposed to do. So that's the thing. People don't want to learn.
So it speaks to financial literacy, which is a very important component in shaping spending decisions. And guess what?
Nowhere we are being taught financial education. You go to school, they don't teach you that. Yes, they'll teach you the numbers and stuff like that, but they don't teach you how money works, you know. And we as a big R, we have started a campaign of starting to educate people about finance. We have a membership. People join a membership club. We train them. And guess what? We have accountants who have come to join to be members, because to be accountant does not mean that you know how money works. You can do my books, but you don't understand how money works. Get my point.
Is it a reason why we considered not a saving nation? Is it because we don't understand how money works? Is it because we are not financially literate as a nation?
Saving too, you need to understand it. If you save, saving will never make you rich. You must save for a reason. When you save, there are reasons. All right? Yes. Now let's look at this way. If you save for emergencies. For instance, if I have a car and then I drive with my car coming to SABC, if I don't save money, if I'm involved in an accident or the car needs some fixed, I won't have an emergency fund to take that money. But if I save with the intention of being rich, you're having it wrong. Because what kills the money is the inflation. If you put your money in the bank, the inflation will eat it. So don't save to be rich. You save just to solve problems that can lead you to poorness. Interesting.
So where do we start? How do we inculcate this financial literacy
education
to our children? Where do you start now as a parent? I've got a 6-year-old who wants to buy a Lamborghini, and whatever note you give to him, he puts it in his wallet, in his safe, just to buy a Lamborghini. Is this is he in the correct path?
Look, it's a good idea, but you must make him understand why is he saving or why she's saving. All right? You don't save for the sake of saving, like I've indicated earlier on. Fortunately enough, as the Big R, we have a foundation that goes to schools and teach young ones about money, because that's where we identified as a major problem, that the majority of our people don't understand how money works. Then we said, let's start them while they're still very young. So, Nesuzulu bati ingo indugi kotra.
We'll leave the discussion at this, but thank you so much indeed for coming through. Hopefully some of our viewers made sound decisions when they went out on this Black Friday shopping spree.
Yeah, a friend of mine who owns about 10 Pick n Pays and 10 malls. I met him yesterday. We were joking. He said to me, you know how to make money on a Black Friday? Then I said, how? He said, stay at home. So I hope they did that.
Well, then I suppose I should thank my employer for keeping me here today. I don't have to spend any money. Saubrey Tshabalala is a debt counsellor talking to us about debt and credit and making sound financial decisions. Most importantly, tapping a bit on financial literacy.